Welcome to Malcolm Presents. No, I'm not. Let's see, I got it backwards. Welcome to Tush Twins, heard exclusively on Malcolm Presents, a
That's true.
streaming platform heard around the world. And as I say, even in Brooklyn. And
Even in Brooklyn?
even in Brooklyn.
Are you maligning my Brooklyn? Come
Es-
on.
es- espe- all the way from Seagate through Coney Island, through Sheepshead Bay, through Brighton
Brighton
Beach.
Beach,
Ocean Parkway.
Ocean
Right.
Park.
Ocean
Yay!
Yeah,
Parkway,
yeah, yeah. That's us, Ocean Parkway. That was
Lincoln High
me.
School. Yay!
Yeah, Lincoln, stinking
Lincoln,
Lincoln.
Stinky
Here's the
Lincoln,
Lincoln, stinking
Stinky
raise,
Lincoln.
raise our weapon high.
Mhm.
Banners high or something.
You
Who
know who
knows?
wrote
Your
that?
banner's high.
Kay Millett.
K. Millette.
Camelot.
Yeah, Kay
My
Millett.
mom went to.
Actually, his name is Kadish Millett. He wrote the theme song for Lincoln. He wrote the theme song for Mark Twain. Hats off to you, Mark
Oh,
Twain. He wrote
Really?
a little dingy. Jerry
Did
the
he write? Did he write "Shine Reynolds Beacon Shine"?
shine,
he probably wrote
little
Reynolds
beacon,
Beacon Shine.
shine.
he probably
Give
wrote
Give
something
us
with
your light.
light.
Phil because he was a composer.
Oh,
Oh,
cool. Yeah, I'm gonna ask Phil. Phil.
Phil,
Bill, Mudge.
you know Kay Millett. He was a
I,
No,
I I didn't. I know. The name doesn't sound familiar,
no.
but then again, no. We have a different span of years in terms of
yeah.
our graduation, so you might have a little more history there, buddy.
Yeah, well,
Mm.
Phil and I think what year did he graduate?
72. He
No, that's
graduated.
us.
Oh, Phil?
Phil
Oh,
was like 59 or 60, one of the two.
Either a 60 or 61. No,
I
that's
think.
I think 60 you were.
I think. No, might have been 60. I think. I
Yeah, because
think.
I was 61. I think he was a little ahead of me.
I think it was a year-ish. Yeah. So I think 60.
It's amazing when I think back. That was and some of those days were so clear, my memories of Lincoln.
Yeah, you think you
So
mhm.
clear.
remember more way back than like 2 minutes
What'd
ago,
you have for breakfast
Yeah.
today?
you know.
Well, that's what
I
Phil.
had cereal. No, okay.
That's what Phil did with the show when I went to see the Tokens, and he stepped on, when he stopped the music and he was talking to the audience, he was saying how rock and roll lyrics, li live on with you, no
Right.
matter how old you are. And he said, if I asked you what you had for breakfast yesterday,
Mm,
it would take
Yeah.
you
right.
10 minutes to think about it. But if I
Right,
said, what
right.
are the following words? My friend, the witch doctor, and
Right.
everybody
Ooh,
said,
Happy
ee,
the
ooh,
ooh,
witch
ting, tang, walla, walla,
tang,
ding,
walla,
Walla
walla,
dang.
walla
ding,
bing
dang.
bang.
Right, right. Ooh, ee, ooh,
Walla
tang,
ting
walla,
ting
walla,
walla
dang.
walla bing bang.
Yes,
Well,
we're taping this on April 2nd, and yesterday was Phil's birthday.
well,
So we're ready? Let's
We
start. Let's roll.
All right, so let's you ready to go?
yeah,
Yes.
because at the end of the show, there's a big an announcement from the White House
Oh yeah.
at
You want to see
at
my
1
announcement?
at 1 o'clock California time, 4 o'clock Washington time, which coincidentally is when the stock market closes. Do you think
Yeah.
it's by
You think
accident?
there's a reason?
I don't
I mean,
know.
if I were a stockbroker now, I mean,
I do. Let's go because I have one thing I have to say political. That's all. And
okay,
it's not
we're ready to go. We're recording.
ready.
We're
You're
recording,
recording.
man.
Okay.
We've been
We are?
recording for all this time. Yeah.
I did not know.
You
Wake
did
up,
not know.
woman. Look at the
I
upward. It
was,
says this meeting is being recorded.
oh, hey, I'm recording. Okay, my one thing I just want to say,
Okay.
Cory Booker
You're the
Yeah.
has lasted
man. You're the man. He had,
25 hours, the
right?
record. I'm so proud of
That's
my
your
senator.
Jersey, your Jersey
New
person,
Jersey's
you
Yeah,
know.
but I've been a Cory Booker fan since he was the mayor of Newark.
no,
I
So,
am
you know how many likes he got on TikTok yesterday?
800,000 or
a
300,000
350 million.
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 No, that's how many
Get this to me. 350 million
without likes or how many listen to him.
likes and views and listens. Well, likes.
I was so proud of him yesterday, and I'm just so proud of calling him my senator.
And he got like, I think it's like 85 million on YouTube watching. on and off, not the whole
Hmm.
thing,
I watch it on and off
but
because I could get it on C-SPAN.
but 85 million on YouTube, 350 million likes on TikTok, which beat Kendrick Lamar's performance at the Super Bowl. He had 133 million. So, I mean, 350 million, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. And
Very proud
wow.
of him. He did a
And
great
and
job.
and
And
also a little shout out to Chris Murphy who stayed on for 25 hours to help him and keep him
so he didn't
going.
go to the bathroom and the whole
Well,
thing.
he didn't go to the bathroom. You can't go
He
to the
didn't.
bathroom.
You
You're not
can't.
allowed.
Oh, you're not.
Nope.
Do you wear diapers, I hope?
I don't know I think it depends.
He
Get
did.
it?
Depends. Very good. Very good.
I don't know. Once in a
Well,
while, I come
well,
out with a
at the end of the
fit of
time
boot.
before he went off stage, he says, soon I'm going to go to take care of biological needs.
Right, right, right. But he
Oh my
went then,
God.
I mean, I didn't see him. He went on Rachel and then we got the Wisconsin Supreme Court won her race despite the fact that you know
He,
who, Musk
Hmm.
he put what,
gave
$20 into or
millions of
something?
dollars, something
I'm
like
so
that.
happy she won.
That's a big deal. And the Florida
Yes.
races, even though they lost, they were in absolutely as red as you can get. Red, red,
Yeah.
red, red. But they cut the amount of in terms of I think Trump won by
30,
30%, and I think they cut it in half in terms of how
15.
many people, yeah, something like that, which
I
is
didn't see those results.
so
But
yeah.
anyway, it's
So here
taking us
we
to left
are.
field. What did you want to talk about?
Well, we were, we mentioned it before on the show a number of times, but I don't think we mentioned kind of everything. Um, this was 73 or 4, right?
Hmm.
Okay, because I
Was 73. No,
I turned
no,
no,
73. It was
73 because
73.
you were 19 already.
I
I
was
was just
19.
turning 19. I spent my
Hmm.
birthday and we went to see Johnny Carson.
Right.
So I just turned 19 and I got kicked out, as I mentioned before, out of the casino, but you didn't.
I
They
did.
thought you were a hooker. Anyway, so we went um at 19. I think our
One horse
parents
kind
I think our parents were absolutely insane. Could you imagine going to your teenage daughter today? Oh, get a bus pass. We did this bus pass with
it
Continental Trailways,
was called the Eagle
the
Pass. It was
Eagle US.
$99 to go anywhere in the United States for 2 months.
Right. So you pay $99 and you
Hmm.
could go anywhere with that pass, any
Right?
place they went, $99.
Yep.
Understand? All around the entire country, anywhere.
And back
Yep.
again?
And
And
back
back
again.
again, you had 2 months to use it.
Huh.
$99.
It was great.
So
You
why
packed a
in
suitcase.
God's name did our parents let us do this? I mean, remember we got off the bus, I think in
In
Chicago, and
Chicago.
it wasn't the best area. And like
We
these
had to wait for the
two
next one.
18 and 19-year-olds in the middle of I think it was like
It was
4 in the morning,
3:30 in the
something,
morning.
3:30 in the morning.
We had
What?
to wait to 8 o'clock to get the next bus.
Right. And we're waiting in the
The
freaking
bus
middle of the night in Chicago at this random bus station.
bus
And I'm
station.
like,
Mhm.
and it didn't even phase us. We were like dumb as dirt. I mean, it's
But I
like,
just remember going through Pennsylvania thinking, is this state ever going to end?
well, I think we did that with Wyoming because we also did the upper tier.
Yes,
And
we did.
we passed all the
We went miles and miles of
that's
miles
not
and
right. We
miles.
kept saying miles and miles of miles and miles, miles and miles of miles and miles. And you would
And
pass through,
flat.
and a lot of that was where a lot of the nuclear facilities are, where the nuclear
Hmm.
weapons are underground. You don't know, but that's where they keep them in that upper tier because
Yeah.
it's just, there's nothing there. There's like
You,
nothing
you
there.
remember that guy with no teeth in the bus wearing a cowboy straw hat and we looking out of this field going, and it was these purple plants. And I go, wow, what is that? We're from Brooklyn. He goes,
Right.
that's Milo.
Milo?
Yeah, some kind of plant called, I'll never forget that, Milo.
Milo.
Yeah,
I don't
Well,
know.
we
I
I
said
know.
have no idea what it
that's
was.
where we buried Milo.
Yeah. Well,
Probably.
I mean, we did have a plan because we booked a tour to go, so we had to get
Yeah.
to Utah. Okay. So we got on Chicago and stops that were made. I mean, it was like, the movie Vacation, except we were on a bus. I mean,
Oh, it's a grain.
I don't know how we weren't like nutsy out of our mind and didn't give a flying leap like, oh yeah, we're going across America. And like, I literally, again, I cannot express how I would never in 18,000 million years, if I had a daughter, let her do that.
You would not even let your son do that.
Well, he went all over the place. This kid's been to more countries than anyone
Yeah,
I
but he was
know.
I
older.
know.
I bet when he was
It was so fun. We
18.
had a suitcase. We didn't even have backpacks. We carried a suitcase. I have a
Yeah.
picture of Maxine. I should have brought it out today. I have it downstairs. We have a picture of Maxine and I holding our suitcases.
Oh, I forgot to take out the bus. I forgot to take, I can get the bus
Yeah, well,
flipped over. Well, okay.
the
I can
bus
get it
abandoned.
if you want
We'll get
you
into
want.
that after.
I
So I
know, but
just
I
looked
forgot.
up Milo. It's a fruit source. It's to feed cattle, and it's a drought tolerant
Oh,
plant.
okay.
Wow.
So it's a millet.
Well,
It's a grain.
I remember we went past the Chicago skyline and you could
Yes.
barely see it because of the pollution. Okay.
It was back then it was a lot of
Okay,
pollution.
it's like the Blues Brothers opens
Mm-hmm.
up with a scene, that same scene, the scene
Mm-hmm.
in Chicago, and if you watch that movie and look at the opening scene, you can barely see the city because it was polluted, which is something they want to happen again.
Yeah, well,
Are
that's
they
what I
going
say.
to do that?
If things keep on going the way they're going,
No, no,
it's going to
no.
happen again.
He's bringing coal back. Coal,
Yeah.
which is what causes that. Anyway, so
I
what
went cross country.
Me,
I went cross country twice. Actually, it was back in the 70s and early 80s. The
drove
thing,
or
it drove. No, I
mhm.
didn't drive. Well, one time I drove, one time I took a bus.
You took a
I think I
bus
told
too?
you, I took it was called the hippie bus. I think it
Hippie
was cheap.
bus.
I think it was like $90. And I
Well,
got
ours was
on,
99. We can go
I got
everywhere.
on
Yeah.
on 72nd Street and West End Avenue. It was old broken down bus, and they had ripped out the seats. And when I
Oh
got
God.
inside, they had a group.
you
And
sat on the floor.
I think I was like in my late 20s or early 30s.
Yeah.
The bus was they picked up somebody else, I think, down in the village, but it was a bunch of kids, probably like between 17 and 20, and
Oh
and
my gosh.
and
You were the
they were
adult.
sleeping in knapsacks, on the floor.
Wow.
And then
No, we
and then
didn't.
when we
We
cleosed the
we
door,
actually had seats. It's
when
just like
And
we
they were
closed the door,
comfortable.
everybody took out the grass and was smoking it.
grass. Oh boy, that's old
Grass.
school.
But this was in the 70s. It was grass.
In 70s, it was a lot of different names. Still is.
But anyway, the thing that I was
Um,
impressed, we have such a large country with nothing in it. It's nice to go
Yeah.
past the cities,
well,
but you go
there's
for
more
hours.
now, but yeah.
You go for
Yeah.
hours
It's,
where
as
it's
you
just
said,
nothing.
miles and miles of miles and
I mean,
miles.
we would look,
Flat.
we would have magazines with us, so, but you
Yes.
didn't like to read too much because you
I
got
couldn't read. I got sick
bus
on the
sick or
bus.
something. Yeah,
Yeah.
so, but I remember, bringing magazine. I mean, and there was no phones, there was no
No, no
games.
cell phones.
You played cards,
No.
you did stuff. I don't even remember I, I mean,
I
how
just
do we even
remember also going
occupy
to the
ourselves?
bus terminal. Your parents drove us with my mom.
Yeah,
They drove us to the bus terminal and on 42nd Street. And back then, the waiting room had little TVs for
right,
a
for the
quarter. We put a
right, right.
quarter in to
That was
watch
the
TV
first,
waiting
and
for the
that was
bus.
new. It was kind of new back then,
Yeah,
for that.
I'll never
Um,
forget that.
Well,
yeah, and
I mean, we're not live, as you know. But I invite anybody in our audience who has a similar type of experience
to let us know.
Mhm.
to let us know about, at an early age taking a bus or
I
even a
was
plane if
I
you're
was
young
looking
and
for
naive.
Carlos Castaneda's Teachings of Don Juan, trying to find my inner animal.
Well, I had gone to Europe and Israel the year before.
Yes.
with a group of people and friends. And
But anyway, before
that's why my parents, since I got back in one piece, sort of, although my friend Peter tried to sell us to these two guys, he did. He really did. And he was speaking to them in Hebrew. And I was like, they're coming around and Edith and I are screaming, Bali Yadayim, Bali Yadayim, and it was like, that means take your hands off of us. And it was, and Peter's laughing, laughing. To this day, he laughs. He thinks it's the funniest thing ever.
but but but
I,
but well, just to complete the thought, if you have an experience like that and you want to let us know, email us
you got
at
to email you. They get
malcolmpresents at
at G.
gmail.com.
Okay. Malcolm
Please,
presents.
that would
And
be
let us know,
great. We would love to hear your experience and we'll bring you on the show.
yeah,
Yeah, we'll go.
we'll have you on the Zoom.
We'll have you on the show.
Remember, it's Malcolm presents at gmail.com. Let us
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
Anyway,
we should put
continuing
that
on with
in.
your
We'll
road
put
trip.
that in on the web. Um.
And we
Anyway.
also went through these flattest plains we've ever seen, and we would see curtains of rain and
Hmm.
storms in the
Yep.
distance.
Coming down. Right.
Yeah, and it could have been it was tornado season. Who knew?
No, because we were so stupid. We were.
We were
We
dumb.
and we're we weren't stupid. We were just, I guess, naive to think that nothing was wrong with this idea. I
No,
mean, there was like, oh, we're going to Utah. Cool. We're gonna go see Bryce, which is beautiful, and we're gonna
yes,
go to
the
to
Grand
the
Canyon,
Grand Canyon, which
which
is
was awesome.
awesome.
That's awesome.
Uh,
I
and
But do you remember,
Zion.
Max, in Chicago, when the cafeteria or the restaurant opened up, we had chili.
Oh yeah.
in the
We also had
morning.
chili. We also had chili in Texas.
Yes, we did.
We were in Amarillo, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
The bus stopped for us to have a food break.
Break,
And
yeah, in
and
the
and there was
bathroom.
and there was a all the cars parked there were Jeeps with
Mm-hmm.
double two-barrel shotguns on the roof. Like all
Yes.
of them had shotguns. And we sat down and all these guys are there and we're looking around like, what the hell? What are we like? To me, I was like,
It was another world,
so then
another
the so
country.
so so the waitress comes over. She goes, "Don't worry, little ladies, you'll be fine." Because we were like, "What the hell?" And then we go like, "What's your best thing?" And she said, "Chili."
Chili.
And
And
I
we had
think it
it.
was the best chili like
I've
I've
ever
ever
had.
had in Amarillo,
Yeah.
Amarillo, Amarillo,
Sure.
Amarillo.
Amarillo,
But that was
Texas.
fun. And I
Yeah.
love stopping in the bathroom breaks in all these little towns and
Yeah, yeah, it
stuff.
was all these places that we would never have been before. I mean, we wound up in New Mexico, and that's what the famous cowboy hat that I bought for
Oh, thank
Les.
God we
Uh,
bought cowboy. I still have it. I had it
and
redone and
and
popped.
they were really, cool, really nice, good ones.
Yes, they were.
Not the schlocky kind. And so we were in we were in
First, we stopped
New
in Flagstaff on our
Flagstaff. Well, we went to Flagstaff
Grand
was
Canyon.
the to go to the Grand
Grand Canyon.
Canyon. And so we
Hmm.
went to a Big Boy, figuring it was safe to eat there. I don't know what I ate there,
I
but I got the Churrasquis. And my Grand Canyon, I could have made a Grand Canyon. My
Yeah,
stomach
I
was
took you there for your birthday.
I felt I was like all I remember now is F you for that. And and I wasn't feeling well. We had to find a drugstore in
Hmm.
Flagstaff somewhere because
Pepto-Bismol.
my stomach I needed Pepto bad. I was like, and so while I enjoyed the Grand Canyon, I didn't really enjoy it as much as I wanted to. We
It
were
was
looking for
beautiful.
go find a bathroom in the Grand Canyon. It's like go crap in the woods.
We
Well,
only
that's the
stayed
Grand
there two
Canyon.
nights.
Yeah. We stayed there 2 nights and then we stayed in Utah we were in this cabin and this
Yes.
guy was our tour guide. So it's
And
like
you thought he was cute.
he had blonde, he was cute.
You have a
I
picture of him
had a
too.
blonde
Yeah.
haired thing I used to like. I don't know.
Long hair.
Maybe that's why my
Like
son gets it.
I think I saw the movie.
it
Oh, you did?
was
Okay.
really cool. He took us
Yeah.
on a tour. He
One
showed
night in
us.
Utah with a cute blonde.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Well,
was kind of cute. He had
he
long
was
hair. It's a hip.
he was cute. He
Yeah,
definitely
he
was
was.
cute. Yeah.
Yes, he was.
Uh-huh. So I didn't mind following him around. It was cute.
And
I felt like
we
a
went to
puppy.
the big hall there in Utah in Bryce Canyon in
Mhm.
Zion. Oh my God, the
It's
giant
gorgeous.
hole, beautiful, and the food was decent
Yeah.
that we know
The
of. We had hamburgers.
what do we what can they do to grilled cheese, right? No,
yeah.
I don't know. Uh,
The only national park I've been to is the Grand Canyon.
yeah,
Been
And when I got
there.
there,
that's a big one.
I went down the trail on the back of a mule. I don't remember
Yeah, yeah, it
a
was a
mule
don
or
they
a
had
donkey.
donkey.
Donkeys. We
We
couldn't
went
afford it
down to Bright no, we went down that morning. We went to Bryce Canyon really early and we hiked down.
to
And
watch the sunrise
30 something degrees,
degrees.
right? And then after the hike, we went back up. We were supposed to catch a bus to Vegas.
Yes.
And but they didn't go to Vegas first. They went to we wanted to be in California somehow, but they went to I think it was Barstow first,
Yes.
and then they made a U-turn to go back to
Turn.
Vegas, which I didn't quite understand, but that's the way it was. So then we could say we went from coast to coast.
Yeah.
I mean,
Coast.
we went from New York to California,
It
and
was cool.
it was cool. And then going to Vegas after being 32 degrees in Bryce Canyon, it was like 112 or 10 or something.
It was
I mean,
very hot.
look at the span of temperature, 70 something degrees in one day.
But Maxine, do you remember when we were going hiking to Angel Falls in Zion, all of
Hmm.
a sudden it was like 80 something degrees, it was warm, and then all of a sudden it started to rain and a
Right.
flash flood hit down there and hail, and I have pictures of it. The hails were like the size of golf
Uh,
balls. It
Even
looked
bigger.
like,
I've never
yeah, it looked
seen
like
hail. Oh,
that
actually,
big.
I did see hail a few years ago up here. There was a
Yeah.
hailstorm that actually Mitch took pictures and the hailstorm came out of nowhere and damaged
Hmm.
my car. And because Mitch took video, I was able
Yeah.
to collect. He was like, I didn't do it. It was not me. It was
Yes.
the
Thank you,
skies.
Well,
Mitch.
we got there,
Yeah.
we watched people floating away in their campgrounds from
Yeah.
above. And
Yeah.
then all of a
I'm
sudden,
glad
it
we
went
were
down to
above.
like the 30s. Then
Yeah.
all of a sudden, we're walking back from Angel Falls and it's now 80 degrees again
Yeah.
within a span of 20 minutes.
Right. Right. I mean, but the thing is, right now, the national parks are amazing in this country. It's one of the crown jewels of the U.S. are the national parks, and I won't even go into what they're trying to do. So
Forget about it.
they want to turn them into how they want to drill, baby, drill.
Bill Jamby.
They want to they want to
They're
development
ruining our
and
country.
and yeah. Right now they
I
are.
don't know whether I doubt whether it's true. It sounds so phony, in, but you don't know what to believe anymore. But it was in Google that Trump wanted to do a musical based on his life.
It
Well,
wouldn't
it has
shock
to be,
me.
it has to be
Yeah,
fake.
No, with Trump, you really think it has to be fake? If you
Trump,
can,
the
oh,
musical.
if you
yeah,
can
he said
have,
he wanted to be like another Hamilton.
okay, it wouldn't
Oh, and
shock
he
me that
hates Hamilton, he said.
well, he hates because they pulled out of the Kennedy Center.
Hmm.
That's why he really hates them. But Trump Gaza Hotel in the
Hmm.
Riviera
Yeah.
of the Middle East.
Gossip.
So would Trump Gaza, and they even did a video, an AI video of that. So do you think he wouldn't want a Trump musical based on Trump Gaza?
Yeah.
It
I
Every
wouldn't.
MAGA will go see
It
it.
wouldn't. It wouldn't. Well, unfortunately, there's enough of them. Um,
I
but
don't, but
anyway,
it's all right. Forget that.
forget
Uh,
that.
yeah.
So
Let's get into Vegas.
So we're in
so
Vegas,
right, we
and
did this a bit, but we can do it again.
yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
we went to see Johnny Carson. I got us tickets to Johnny Carson for your birthday.
That was my birthday more. It
Yes,
was Vegas.
yeah,
Yeah.
You
because
remember
I
how much
got
it
it from
cost?
Ricky.
Right.
You remember how much the tickets cost?
I didn't
We
pay
didn't
for it.
buy
No.
them because
It was given to me from Rick Carson, Johnny's son,
No.
who's a friend of mine, and may he rest in peace. But
Yeah,
we
Johnny or
got
Rick
three.
or both?
Ricky
Rick,
passed.
Rick died
He
young.
was young.
Wait, did he
We
die
had
from an
He,
overdose or something? Is that him?
no, he was finally getting straight, I think, but he's a photographer and he was walking down the highway taking pictures and a car was went into him or something. He was killed instantly.
Mm.
That's good news. Let's go past that.
But
We
no,
met,
we got tickets and
we
we,
saw
as I said,
Johnny.
we saw him and
It
Manhattan
was
Transfer
hysterical.
opened for him.
Right.
But as we're waiting to get into to the show, there were slot machines,
Uh-huh.
10-cent slot machines.
10
And
cents?
we won $35, enough for breakfast and lunch the next day.
Yeah,
That was the best.
we killed it. Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
That was a lot of money for me back then.
Well, it was a lot of it was more money back then. Yeah, for sure. I mean, the
Just don't
70s.
forget, my father just passed away, so this I begged my mom to go, and she worked and she saved all that months because you were supposed to go with a group of people from your school, and
Right.
they all backed out. And he said, "Come with me."
Right, my yeah, Dulcie. She was supposed to come with us
But
and this other
you
girl.
guys, you were what, 19 years old at the time?
I was 19, she was
I
19
you no,
in
well
Vegas.
I was 18, but then I turned 19 in Vegas. I had my 18th birthday in Israel and my
Hmm.
19th birthday in Vegas. Interesting.
And the
And my
20th?
50th birthday in Hawaii. I have
Yeah.
things. I have things. The 50 state, right?
Hmm.
The
I'm
O
just
state.
telling you.
The
Da,
50.
da,
I
da, da.
I love Hawaii.
What are you
I
planning for
got
what are you
I
planning for your 80th?
my 80th. I don't know. I'll have to think about it.
I'll be happy I'm
Australia.
80.
You want to go to Australia? Because
Yes.
if we're 80, I'm sure we'll be able to sleep on the plane. It'll be easier. Sorry.
Bye. We'll be sleeping.
Hey,
But you'll
sorry.
have to go first class with me.
That's right, baby. If you're going out, yeah, you got to stop in LA and then go. Hey, you know, people are very. I mean, I'm of the. I'm a big fan of Jane, and I'm a big fan of the Mick Jagger and all those. I mean, and Ringo. Look at them.
They're
I mean,
fabulous.
are they? I mean, to me, it's amazing. I don't know what they're getting. I don't know if they're getting that plasma thing that you can get the blood platelets. I don't know if
You
that's
know what?
real
I
or
would do it if it works.
I think Shatner does it, and so does
He,
Tom
he's
Cruise.
89 years old, almost 90. He looks
He's
phenomenal.
I think he's 91. I think he was.
91.
Yeah, I think Shatner is what is already. I don't know. I
And
think
he
he's
looks
past.
great.
It's amazing. Uh, and
Well,
so does Jane Fonda.
But on the way, after we left Vegas,
Okay, you
we
know
met,
how old William Shatner is?
how old?
94.
Oh,
94.
you're kidding. Oh my God. God bless him.
Born in 31.
Yeah, but the
Um,
thing is, when you see people on TV or even interviews, they have the makeup on, they have the face powder on. You don't see the wrinkles, and
Makeup.
yeah,
mm,
and you don't see the thing that I notice about older folks that you don't really see is see them get up, like like I do,
Oi, my
right,
back.
and,
Oi,
and
my
and
oh,
and
pubic.
and see them walk. They don't have that grace anymore. They don't have the spring in their steps.
I will.
the Rolling Stones, Mick Jagger does. He
He
bounces.
does.
He's 83 or something,
Only
or
when the
81,
camera's
something
on
like
or
that.
his show is on.
He's amazing. That's all I can say. Anyway, so we had a good time in Vegas. I was thrown out of the casino for being underage,
I
and you,
ran out of the
uh,
casino because I thought I was a hooker.
they thought she was a hooker.
You could have made
So,
some extra. To thinking about money, you could have made some
yeah,
extra
right. You
money
could have
there.
made some. Yeah, just
Oh,
what
that's
we.
not the first time people thought I was a hooker
That's right.
in a
I think.
casino.
Yeah, it's true.
It's true.
It's true.
Look at
So,
my, do I look like a hooker? No.
so we went
Well, if you're wearing a low-cut dress with your
boobies,
No.
bazookas hanging out,
I was at
bazookas.
that day. Yeah, I was wearing a harem outfit.
You're just out of your mind. I mean, seriously. Um, I don't know how I can go with you anywhere. I just don't know how to. Can't take you anywhere. But
But then we ended up going through New Mexico.
went
We
to
went to
New Mexico.
Wyoming first. First we were in
yeah.
Wyoming
Well, that
and
was on the way, I
we
think.
back. No, it
Hmm.
was on the way back.
No, because we went back was New Mexico, which is lower.
Okay, so
We did the
okay, we
Anyway,
went.
guys,
upper.
get
So
We
your bearings straight because it's the end of the show.
no, we
all right,
didn't get to do the
quickly,
bus
quickly.
accident.
We got
damn.
to the bus accident.
You're gonna
Okay,
have to
okay.
push the.
Let's
You're gonna
get
have to push.
immediately to the box
okay.
accident since
We
we ain't
we
got
All
no
get
right.
more
on
Well,
the
time.
bus, and all of a sudden it's nighttime. It's pouring, and the stupid driver decides to go fast around a curve in Greenville, Indiana.
mm, which is
Just
near. Oh, somewhere near Indianapolis. I thought it was.
Green,
No.
it's not far. It's about
Greenville,
20 minutes
Indiana.
away.
Slowly I
Mm.
turned,
Anyway,
step by step.
the
The
bus
bus went round and
flipped
round and
and
hit the ground.
and it flipped over. It flipped. It went around the curve and it literally flipped.
Went
It went,
stuck.
And you
okay.
were
Thank
both
God we were
instantly
on that
killed.
side it flipped onto.
We
Both.
had moved to the other side of the bus on the other stop before that, because if
Hmm.
we were on the other side where we were, we would have been thrown. This way, we kind of went with it.
You went
You
with the
But
know,
we
flow.
also had cowboy hats sleeping. We're sleeping, and it's middle of the night, around 12, 1 o'clock. And we had these hats, and they were like pancakes because there was glass on it.
yeah. And if we didn't
Thank
have
God
the
we had the
hat,
hats on.
You
our
would have
face
been.
would have been cut up.
Hmm.
And I bought Les a cowboy hat and it got like scrunched in, um, because it
Like
was on the side
black
where we hit.
bar. I
Yeah,
But
was so
there,
excited about
anyway,
there, but for the grace of God, go I.
so we wound up, this one woman got very injured, but there was a guy on the bus who the bus driver was kind of out of it,
it.
and
I hit my
we we, we,
head.
we
I
couldn't.
had a
You hit her head. She
concussion.
right, and the guy kicked in the windshield. This guy
Hmm.
kicked in a bus windshield,
Windshield.
like kicked it
I
in,
remember him.
and we got out of the bus. We
Yes.
got on safe ground, and then there were cops everywhere, and then they drove us,
To the hospital.
to the hospital, and the insurance company. I called my dad, and he said, "You tell them you want to get on a flight back.
Yes.
You get all their information, make sure you're okay, and you want them to fly you back. You're not getting on another bus. There's no way." They put people on another bus, and they went.
We didn't.
Not us, not us. And so this guy comes in the middle of the night from the insurance company. He's like freaking drunk. You can smell his breath. You know, and he's driving us to
To the
the
airport.
airport in Indianapolis, to the
Hmm.
airport, to TWA, to take a flight. The guy is drunk. He's weaving. It's pouring rain still. And
It was horrible.
I'm like, oh my God,
Our flight was until the morning.
and you were out
We,
of it because they gave you something because you were like,
because I hit my head. I had a mild concussion. I refused to stay. They wanted to give me a needle to calm me
oh
down.
God,
I
oh
started
God.
screaming.
She
So
started
they gave me a
screaming.
pill
Yeah,
of Valium.
she was screaming. They gave her Valium. So I'm dealing with this one who never really flew in a
I flew
commercial
once.
jet.
I only flew once, and that was with Phil.
Right. I'm saying a commercial flight. You flew with
Never.
Phil. You flew with Phil right? But this was a commercial jet. And
Hmm.
literally finally get in, we get on the plane, blah blah blah. And I'm on the plane because I've flown enough, and she takes her fingers and she puts them like in my,
Farm.
digs them into my arm. I had marks for like weeks
You
from
still do.
her digging in, and I said,
I
"We're
was
fine, we're fine." She
terrified.
was she was terrified, and we finally got back, and it was into the old TWA building that is now a hotel,
Hotel,
and
yeah.
then they let people go in. Your parents, my dad was able to pick us
Your
up.
dad came and
Right.
got us.
Right. And
I
I
was so
saw him.
happy to
I
see
saw him
Dad
through
so
through
bad.
that there was like a passageway through that
Hmm.
TWA building, and
Anyway,
I
guys, we
remember
got the
that.
whole thing. We can talk about another hour
We'll
about this.
have to we'll have to
We'll
figure
finish it.
finish
We'll
finish it
pick it
up
up
because it's
next show.
there's more to the story, so there'll be a part two.
Part two. Okay,
Part
guys,
Part
two.
two.
you have a great week. I hope, well,
Yeah.
as I say,
Hope. We need
in,
some hope.
in another 20 minutes, if you want to live,
Oh,
I'm not watching, so good luck to
I'm
you.
not. I can't.
I'll
I
let you
wouldn't
know. I
hope.
am.
I don't want to
Because it's
know.
going to
I'm
affect
gonna
us
go
no matter
watch
what.
westerns.
Oh no, I got work to do.
Okay, well,
Anyway.
well, you have a great week, and I'll speak to you next
You
week.
too.
All right. We'll
Shalom.
well
You've
I'll
been
see you. I'll
listening.
see you tomorrow on the show.
You see me
Okay.
tomorrow on the show, and then Friday we have another show.
I know. Oh God, help
And
We're
I
me.
will
doing
see you,
one.
Max, on Tuesday.
But we should have the
Knock on.
redhead come on too on we. All right.
Yeah,
At
you'll be
least it
on
would
week
be
next week.
a fun show.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Bye.
Anyway,
Yeah,
ciao, guys.
you've
Bye.
been listening to Tush Twins heard on MalcolmPresents.com.
That's true.
Bye.